Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Blue Podcast. As you can see here, it is chapter 2, and today we're going to continue off where we left off in the last episode, where I talked a little bit about my journeys moving into California, not knowing pretty much anything about being independent, finding a job, absolutely everything. So, I will explain to you guys first. This first section is going to be all about finding a job, right? Which I kind of touched on a little bit, but here are my tips and perspectives and how you were able to get all of this done. I'm going to close the window. It is so hot right now, but I don't want you guys to be listening to all that stuff. I will say it is super, super hot today, so you might see me sweating a little bit, but we shall start with this. So, what do you do? How do you get a job? You might go online and you might look up, oh, uh, job searching, this, and that. No, okay. Some others that are here still don't even know how to get a job, but it is very easy. So, this could be helpful for any person like living here, planning to live here, or anything, or just in general, in my opinion, because I've gotten pretty good results with it. Okay, so we're gonna be in Google, right? And we're just gonna look up jobs near me. I don't know what's gonna show up, right? For me, I'm connected to my Google account, so it's gonna show up jobs related to my searches already, right? And you might see Google jobs like job posting, save jobs following, blah blah blah. And I guess it's not recommended to me. There's just like random ass jobs that you can choose, and you can click, and it'll take you to different links, either to the web page or to the other. Now, if you keep going down, or if you come back, you're gonna eventually stumble upon a page called Indeed, right? So you have jobs here in Long Beach, Indeed. You're gonna find Indeed and ZipRecruiter. These two are the main two websites that companies are going to upload their job postings. Now, for me, I'm a cook. I'm a chef, so you can just look up chef, and there's a couple things that you can do to make this easier on you, right? So you put your zip code, and then it just depends on what distance you're willing to travel. 10 miles is pretty decent, especially if you don't have a car. And you can do jobs you haven't seen. You can be kind of picky with the pay if you want to, but I mean, you can go down and just check, right? You can check, executive chef, this, and that. If you don't have as much of an experience and you want to be cook, just look up cook instead of chef, and you'll get a lot of things. And you can start applying. Like, say, I'm interested in this, right? Lead cook, kitchen manager wanted. Okay, okay. I go apply. Now, you don't leave it just like that. You will never get the job if you just apply and think, okay, they'll reach back to me. Like, there is a 1% chance they will reply back. Like, it's possible, don't get me wrong. And usually it's gonna be in like smaller places like bars or like independent places. But when it comes to like McDonald's and all these places, it's most likely what's most likely gonna happen is that they're not gonna call you back. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna find where this place is at, and then you can look it up in like Google Maps, right, and everything. I don't want to dox myself right now, but then you're gonna give them a call, and then you call them and you let them know your name. First thing is like, hey, I'm this and this. I applied for this position. Can you please check it out? And they're like, oh yeah, 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 no worries. And that's it. And then you can give them a call like a couple days after if you still haven't reached out. And sometimes they're not interested and they're trying to be nice, but you can't just settle down for one job that looks really good. You got to keep applying and applying and applying and applying and applying and applying, and eventually you'll find something. Now, here's some other tips for you guys to find shit. Because sometimes it'll be a couple weeks and you haven't found anything. It's very possible. It depends on how much experience you have on the job openings or whatnot. So what are you gonna do? you can click either jobs you haven't seen, or what I like to do, this is my biggest tip, just go to last 3 days or last 24 hours, because you will most likely find the jobs that are currently looking for a position right now, And if you like get it, like this one, sushi chef, right? I might be interested. I can look it up here. I can apply. Just give him a call, and it's been posted like in the last 24 hours, right? And that was the only one in the last 24. But let's do the last three. Let's see how many more we get. Pastry chef. We have executive chef. Well, you only have three different ones here, right? But these are the ones that are going to be more attentive of job applications because they just uploaded it than one that was posted like a while ago. Like maybe this one uh looks good, right? But maybe it was uploaded like a month ago and you have no clue, because if you don't select jobs you haven't seen or they posted, you're not gonna get too many things back. Also, as I said, use different keywords as well. For me, since I'm working in the kitchen, I use chef, I use cook. You can look up food service, for example, or just food. If you look up food, you're gonna get other positions. They posted, let's do last 3 days, and you're gonna see, look, food preparation, line cook, prep cook. See, you got more options now because you changed the keywords. So make sure if you're in one category, don't just look up like five word, or don't look up one word. Just look up like five different words, right? Look how many more options you get for putting a broader word. Obviously, what you may not find something that you like as much. And another tip that I want to give you guys is don't settle down. Even if you get like all these job interviews, or even if they like give you a guaranteed job position, there's still a big chance you may not like that job. So just keep on looking. Even if you're working, you are still gonna be able to find something better eventually. The job I'm currently getting paid at, or the job I'm currently working recently, is giving me a pay of $25 an hour, and can go up from there. If I work a bit more, it can go up to like 26.50. Now, if I go into managerial positions, I can be getting paid even more. You know, for me, I'm trying to get as much experience as possible. When I first moved here, I went to like a pizza place. I didn't last there very long. That's Italian food. I went to Chipotle, which is Mexican food. I was there for like 8 months. Then I went to the Queen Mary, which is American. We were doing a bit of Mediterranean and all over the place food. I was there for over a year, and then I'm in a Taiwanese kitchen, which resembles a lot like Chinese food. So it just depends on if you just want to have like a stable place where you want to stay at, or if you want as much experience so that later maybe you can go to Europe and travel and like work there because you have all this experience, or if you want to specialize in one sort of kitchen. Like if you just want to do Chinese food for the rest of your life, you can definitely do that and go work in either one and make your way up little by little, or you can just work in different places and eventually get up there. I'm 21 years old, and I think anybody can do this as long as you're hardworking and you have just a work ethic. Because if you have one bad month, I mean, you're gonna struggle a little bit. But to find a job, it can be complicated. Don't get me wrong, and it depends on how open you are on working in different areas and positions, right? Like when it comes to like cooking, it's easier than other positions. Getting a good cooking position, it's harder, which thankfully I've gotten the opportunity to work at a couple good places. But yeah, you just gotta keep looking and looking and looking and looking. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is interviews, right? What should I say? How should I act, right? And for me, I'm gonna talk specifically for my type of work, because I mean that's what I've been doing. Um, I will say there's a lot of weird people around here, and it's really not that complicated for yourself to be set aside in a positive way. Now, there's a couple ways you can kind of go for it, at least here in California, for what I've seen. You can either dress up nice so that they know you're going serious, even if it's like a kitchen position. You might think like, oh, I'm going a little bit overboard. No, like companies like this because it's like, oh, okay, they dressed up nice to go to the interview because they actually want to work here, right? And then the other way is you can go there beforehand, like if it's a restaurant, if you see they're all wearing black, you can go to the interview and it's kind of like a psychological thing wearing all black so that they might like have that kind of psychological feeling of like, oh, okay, I see you working here because they're so used to seeing workers wearing like a specific clothing. Now it can be more or less obvious. Like if you're applying to Target and you're wearing a red shirt, it might be a little bit weird. But at the same time, it could work depending on the interviewer. Um, but yeah, I think that's very important. Like just dress code. Don't just be dressed up like this. Like don't unless it's like themed with like a skeleton. Like because for example, I had an interview where the whole theme of the place was like the skeleton and like horror or whatnot, and they liked it. So they kind of saw that I put this shirt on because of the vibe of the place, and they kind of liked it. But yeah, just clothing is very important. A lot of people just go in wearing street clothes. It seems like they don't care if you give them an impression that you like, or you're very interested in the position they're offering. That's a good point. Now, number two, don't be very egocentrical. Keep your ego in the side. Obviously, you gotta show that you know what you're doing, but just be very humble. What I've kind of noticed in doing interviews and like seeing people around me, especially in kitchens, they don't want someone like very egotistical because it goes to problems with the other crew members. You know, a big thing for companies, they don't want you to be fighting. So just keep yourself very, very humble. Just yeah, don't put yourself up in a pedestal. You can kind of do it, but just very subtle. Like obviously you want them to hire you, but don't say like I'm the fucking best. Just say like, oh yeah, I have these skills, but I'm willing to learn more. I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to open blah 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 blah. Because as I said, they're not gonna hire you if you are just being an egotistical maniac. Um, so yeah, be well spoken. Just be as professional as possible. And I know this sounds very very easy and stupid to say, but it's really like that. There's a lot of weird people or a lot of people that don't take your job interviews seriously, and at the end of the day, you're gonna be working with these people, so try to match the vibe of the interviewer. If they're very serious, try to be a bit more serious. If they're a bit more lighthearted, you can like maybe crack a joke or two because they're gonna like it. Obviously, not do not be inappropriate at all. Just keep it professional, but match the vibe of the person you're being interviewed with. Well, that is very very important. Um, but yeah, okay. So that's a few key points I wanted to touch at. Now I want to talk about a little bit of my personal goals. Right, I've talked about my past. I want to talk about my future now, and I think it's very important to know where I'm at right now. Right, as I said, I started working at this new place, and I kind of said it in the last episode where I started working with $16 an hour or like $15 an hour around there, and now I'm getting paid like 25. And I can get paid like 26, 27. Like it just keeps going up and up and up and up. Bear in mind, I'm only 21 years old, and I still have like 6 months before I turn 22. Anyways, there's a lot of opportunities here, but I started thinking about it, and the more you're here, you're like, okay, what is going to be my goal in life, because I feel like a lot of people go through that, right? I was talking with my buddy, and we're both considering a lot of options because, especially when you're young, you have a lot of options on what you can do. And for me, I like being in the food industry because it has so many job opportunities anywhere in the world, specifically as a cook, because eating is a necessity that everybody needs to do, like everybody has to eat. So I mean, if somebody like me can cook, I can go anywhere, cook, get food, or like make food, get money. Anyways, I personally like traveling, so what I can do, one of my options is to go around the world, staying in people's houses, cooking for them, voila voila, like etc etc. That's an option I have, because I think it's very important to consider options of your future. One of my game plans, because of inflation, is keeping like it's going up and up and up. I'm gonna look it up real quick, but um, the Japan housing is open for anybody, not just Japanese people, and so I'm gonna look it up. For the first time, this is my blind reaction. I've seen videos on Instagram showing how the Japan housing is right now, but in comparison to California, like I'm never gonna be able to afford a house in California, let alone want to live here because the cost of everything is so high. Like, even if you own a house, you're still gonna have to pay for like so many fucking things, and it's not gonna be like the best house ever because the fucking houses here are made out of cardboard. So, I wanted to blind react with you guys. Japan, uh, housing, and this is kind of random, because you're gonna think like, why do I want this, so one of my here, let me go back real quick. One of my options that I was thinking of is going to live in Japan, and I can become a cook, but the pay there is not the best. So I only want to go there if I can get some money online. So in a way, I'm doing YouTube because it's my passion, and I really like the videos I'm putting out. Like, I'm super super proud, and I feel very happy whenever people like my content, because I'm not just doing it to like become famous, this and that. I'm doing it because it's something I truly enjoy. But if I can eventually get some sort of income, it doesn't have to be crazy income. I can go to Japan, have this income online, and then be living there, getting more experience, and actually buying a house at a decent price. And you might call me crazy. You'd be like, well, Japan is expensive. That's a big misconception, right? So let's do max price, right? When it comes to like buying, 5 million is kind of a crazy thing, but we're just gonna look it up. House, apartment. We're just gonna look up anywhere in Japan. I'm open. Obviously Tokyo's gonna be more expensive. Um, and then we're gonna get a calculator, yen to USD. Okay. So, I've never used this page before. So, for sale, for rent, prefecture, price. Okay, let's do oops, that is not the button I wanted to press. Let's do price, maximum. Oh, this is yen. So, how much is $100,000? One, two, one, two, three. This is, I don't even know. One, two, three, one, two, three. It's 14 million. So let's do like 10 million, uh, which would be like 68,000. So let's do a limit on 68,000 anywhere in Japan. Let's see how many houses and the quality of houses you can get. And bear in mind, this is to purchase. I guess there's also land here. Okay, so as you can see here, there's some that are relatively cheap. I mean, there's a lot of places for under 68,000. There are like millions and millions and millions of houses abandoned in Japan, countryside, or even city, you know. So like this one, which is a little bit more expensive, uh, you get this house and you get all this land right here, almost rectangular land for 991 square meters, which is decent amount of land. Don't get me wrong, but you're like, oh, I don't care about having land. I just care about the house, right? Uh, and if you're open to being in Japan, like I mean, it's a relatively small country, so you can technically get the train to Tokyo if you want to. If you're somewhat nearby. This is like in the countryside. It's a pretty decent house, and it's 4 million. Here, let's copy this and let's put this here. 33,500 for a 2 room apartment. And you're like, well, where the fuck is this shit, right? Like, you might think it's in the middle of nowhere. There's an apartment in like, bear in mind, look, this is like pretty decent size apartment, right? So it's 58 square meters. You got to think in Japan, places are definitely smaller. And let's look up where this is at, right? So it said in Nagano. So it's like, okay, Nagano. So we're gonna copy this. We're gonna look it up, and then we're gonna see how far away this is, right? So it's gonna be over here, which is honestly, it is definitely in the countryside, but you can definitely go to Tokyo back and forth. Might take more or less, but I mean, Mount Fuji's over here. There's options. I mean, it's not bad. Nagano is over here, like city wise, not bad. I mean, as you can see, like it's definitely a topic where you can look at, and I wanted to blind react. I could have chosen the best places, like the best places, and it also depends on how much you're willing to pay and how much like how many rooms you're willing to look at. But I've seen some crazy stuff. Like, okay, one bed, one bath. Like that place looks pretty fucking cool. I love the countryside, so for me this is like a dream. Even just looking at it, I get a little bit emotional. But bear in mind, all these places, like there's so many tabs of houses that are under $60,000. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. Now we're gonna compare it to. Let's go to Zillow. Okay, and bear in mind. I was looking at Portland, but we're gonna look up just the entirety of California. Not even LA. Okay, just in comparison, we're gonna look up homes. Now we're gonna go for rent, for sale, and we're gonna look up 600,000, which is what we were, or not 600,000. We're looking up 60,000. So for 50,000, there's literally nothing. Oh, this is California City. Never mind. California. Let's look up LA. I don't even think there's anything. Okay, so for sale for 50,000, you have nothing. This is fake. This is not a home for sale for $10,000. That is not. That might be like the down payment or something. Let's see how much this actually costs. 19 minutes ago. I have no idea, but oh, see, here you go. $2 million. Okay, $2 million for that. Now definitely gonna have to go up. And you might think like, okay, LA is expensive. Like I understand, I know how expensive this is, right? But look, 500,000. Like that is literally 10 times more expensive than the places we were looking at before. This is fucking crazy. Um, and it's like, oh shit. Okay, let's look up Sacramento, right, which is the capital of California. Okay, 400,000. And bear in mind, these places are a little bit cheaper. They're like decent, decent size. Not the biggest, not the smallest. It just goes to show. But if we go back, okay, and I don't want to be like too annoying because I'm at the end of the day, I'm just showing fucking real estate. But let's look up like more expensive houses, like for the not the same price, but still cheaper. But if you're willing to like spend more, like over 150K, right? So 33 million, you can get like very decent houses at the same price. Like, okay, like let's look at this place, right? 45 million, newly built. Because the houses I was showing you before, it's like super economical. Like if you just want a house, but if you're willing to go a little bit beyond, you can get this new house. Bear in mind, like some houses in Japan are more expensive. So this is Osato Town, and I have no idea. You're like, how much is this? Because this is close to 1,300 square feet. 45 million yen sounds like a lot, and it is gonna be boom 300,000. So for the same price of not even for the same price, like you can, I guess you can kind of choose where you want to be, but 350,000 Sacramento. I mean, it's kind of there, I guess. It's kind of there. Sacramento is definitely cheaper. Um, yeah, at this point, I'm just being curious. Oops, that's Oregon, not Oregon. Oregon is definitely cheaper. I mean, bear in mind this is like a brand new house. Like the other houses are like maybe 30, 40 years old in Sacramento. Sometimes even more. These are like new, like completely new construction. So, anyways, yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. Something I've been looking at recently. I don't know if you guys find this interesting at all because it is real estate, but I feel like it gets to the point in life where you're gonna have to think on where you want to settle down for longer because rent adds up. So we're gonna go back here real quick and let's just calculate, right? Let's grab a calculator and I want you guys to realize how much money you're spending on rent in a way, right? And how in the long run you're gonna be paying more money in rent if you're paying rent for 40 years and if you buy a house like like in a place that's a little bit cheaper, right? So an average apartment, the rent here in Long Beach is gonna be like 2,300. Say you're only living with one person. After utilities and everything, it's gonna be 2,500. It's usually like 150 to $200 with internet, water, gas, electricity, or whatnot. So say 2,500 and you're paying 1,250, right? Say you're paying this on rent. Now I'm not paying this much, obviously. I'm paying because I'm living with more people. So it's all relative, but on average, because a studio can be like 1,500 here, so it can be more, it can be less, but I feel like on average, this is what people pay around my age in rent. I think this is like a reasonable number to go off with, right? Now, if we multiply this by 12, right? You're paying $15,000 in rent every single year, right? And this is a year. So if you multiply this by 20, by the age of uh 40, if you're 20, by the age of 40, you'd be paying $300,000 uh in rent money, okay? Now 300,000 can get you the houses we were looking at with a little bit of loan, right? And now it's easier said than done. But just bear in mind, like by the age of 40, you're gonna be paying as much rent as these new houses in Japan or some older houses in Sacramento or like the cheaper houses in LA are costing right now, right? So it's something to kind of throw out there. Now, obviously, people don't have the money to like go and invest into these properties. I definitely don't have that money, but it's definitely important to think of that. Like you might find a little bit more secure, just like, okay, I'll just pay rent. I'll just pay rent. I won't invest into buying a house eventually. But I think it's very important to, as soon as possible, have some sort of property where you're not constantly paying rent. You're obviously gonna have other things, other fucking expenses or whatnot. And this number, 300,000, is not even considering inflation. This is like with today's thing. And we've already seen how much inflation has gone in the past 5 years. So it is something a little bit crazy to think about. But yeah, that is kind of where my mind has been in the past few months and where the future of me as a person, right? Now, if I were to be living in Japan, right, and I have this income, because this is one of my plans later on, um, it would be cheaper for me owning a place there in Japan And then if I want to make content in like festivals or whatnot in the States, right? It is cheaper for me to have my own place over there in Japan, fly all the way here, having the online income, buying the flight, getting the fucking the fucking festival pass, then paying 1 month rent. If you're paying 12.50 on rent, which is average in California, right? Or at least like Long Beach or LA area, you're paying the equivalent of two round tickets to Japan more and the festival fucking ticket like $1,200 take you so far. So if you have your own fucking house, you're obviously gonna have expenses, but food is cheaper there. Absolutely, more everything's cheaper there. And then since you have that online money, you're making profit and you're able to save money. And instead of paying the 12.50 in rent, you're gonna be able to invest that into going to festivals and shit. Like it's fucking crazy. So if you can somehow get an online job, it's like boom. And obviously people do this shit, right? Like I'm not the person that's like found out about this shit, but the more I think about it, I'm like, oh shit, like why do I want to live around here? And the reason is when you're young, you have a lot of opportunities here. As I showed you on Indeed, or you can go to ZipRecruiter. If you're persistent, you can get like so much job experience. Like I've gotten like close to 3 years of job experience in like different places and in very good places. Don't get me wrong, uh like Chipotle is not the best, but I mean when it comes to like fast food, it's the best one out of them all, in my opinion. Not Still not great, but one of the best. Like, anyways, yeah. So future, right? I think it's something very important to notice. Also, living here, I have a few anecdotes, right? Some crazy shit happens. Okay, yesterday I was just chilling here, right? And then I just hear my downstairs neighbor, which I don't get along with very well, but I just hear screaming like, "Put on your darn clothes! What are you doing? Put on your clothes! Put on your clothes!" And I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" I look outside and it was just like a fully naked woman just walking down the street, and I'm like, "Okay, and that is not the most random thing that happens." And I try to explain people here, and it just depends on where you at that might shock you more or less. Like if you're from here, it might be like, oh yeah, that's normal. But if you're from Spain, for example, you'll be like, what the fuck? Like just a fully naked person. It is somewhat common, and it won't reach the news. It's just like, okay, the police comes, they take them, and that's it, right? They might arrest them for just stripping. But in Spain, it will be like national news, or in other countries, it'll be news like there's just a naked fucking woman in the middle of the fucking city. Like, what the fuck? There's another guy that like fucking grabbed a fucking glass bottle, threw it in the ground, took off his shoes and started stepping on it. And I'm like, oh man, that is oh not that is not what I want to see. Oh my god, that is disgusting. So you have so many like interesting people here. So I mean, there's pros and cons of every single place, and it's easier or harder depending on how much perspective of life you have and how much you're willing to fight for it. I feel like if you're younger, you have the motivation of like, okay, I have the motivation to do this. Like I know I can go work 40 hours a week, save money, go to shows, record. I can do this. I can do that. I can fucking write a book. I can produce. I can fucking do this shit. I can do this. Blah, 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 blah. Like I feel like I can do that shit to a certain degree. It's obviously like you can tell I have like bags under my eyes because I like working, but my view of seeing life is the more you get older, the lazier you get. And unfortunately, with all the distractions in the world right now, it is so easy to like, because before this, I was playing The Binding of Isaac, like I just straight up. I'm like, okay, I'll just play for a little bit, right? And that was 30 minutes of my time that I was playing. It could have been more, it could have been less, but that was 30 minutes that I'm never going to get back. That for me, it personally helps me like de-stress a little bit, and it's something I like to do for fun. but you just gotta bear in mind like what's your objectives in life. You know, like how what you want to do with your time because it is so limited and time goes by so quickly. I've been here for 2.5 years and it does not feel like that. I'm like, damn, 2.5 years. I've done like so much, but I feel like I could have done more. And every year I'm getting a little bit more and more tired just because of how society kind of treats you as a person and how like work can be so hard for me, especially in the kitchen. Like I worked Monday through Friday. I stayed extra, so I worked over like around 40 hours, which is full time. It's a brand new job, and oh my god, yesterday I like fucking did nothing. I had my friend come over and we played some games. All cool. De-stressor day, you know. I have nothing wrong with that shit. I deserve it. But at the same time, it's always that kind of pressure of like, okay, I can do more. I can do more. I can do more. And recently, I got an editor as well. I haven't mentioned it on the channel, but I have someone actually helping me do the YouTube Shorts, which has been like super super nice because it helps me save a lot of money. And I mean, they've been doing an amazing job. They actually edited the uh, the long form video of my brother and I going to see Stoned to Death, which is pretty cool. He's been editing all the YouTube shorts like crazy. We have so many prepared already. And after this, I'm gonna prepare some more music, some more doubles to go record, so I can have more YouTube shorts of Raid the Double. You know, I want to make more series. I want to make more videos, more content, and everything for you guys. My friend bought me a mic to connect to my like webcam. I have like a little body cam that I've gotten. That's how I've been recording some shit. Anyways, I want to record more video content for you guys to know how life is around here as well, relating to dubstep. You know, because the other thing that I've kind of noticed is that there's not that many people making content specifically on dubstep, and you see festivals and you see like all these shows and there's like hundreds, there's thousands of people like going. And you'd think that people would be interested in this type of content, but there's not that many channels out there that do what I'm trying to do. And trying to do specifically dubstep and rhythm. I don't want to branch out as much to other genres because that's what I personally like. But yeah, that's kind of besides the point. So, anyways, yeah, I'm gonna leave this episode here. I kind of had like different sections. You know, I was talking about jobs. I was talking about like housing. I was talking about a little bit of everything. You know, which I think it's always a good thing because it's for you guys to kind of understand my perspective of life right now. But I'm still very fucking young, and I want you guys to understand how I view it, how I view life right now. But maybe in a year, maybe in like 3 months, but probably like 5 years, I can look back and I'm like, oh, I was very right or I was very fucking wrong. Which I don't know. It could be yes, no, you know, and it's gonna help me personally as well. Just like being a little bit of motivation of if I don't have the motivation, I can always look at my previous videos and be like, "Oh, I started here. I'm literally in a fucking closet. I've shown you guys so many times, but look, I'm in a fucking closet, you know." And it's not like I have a problem with it, but it's true. I'm like literally sleeping in a closet right now. So, anyways, I hope you guys have a good day, and I want to record more videos of me going to shows and other shit like that. I hope you guys like enjoy that type of content. And let me know if you guys have any ideas for me as a content creator that's specifically for this. I will say sneak peek. I know I'm dragging this fucking video, but I keep on like thinking of things to say. But one of my objectives, right, and I'm saying it right now in episode 2, is to get music producers for dubstep and rhythm to come here and not to the fucking to the closet, but to the channel in video call, and for me to be able to interview them, make them the questions, maybe make them a remix of one of their songs, some shit like that. I want to communicate with artists later on. It would be cool if I can go to shows and I can go backstage. That will be insane, and I can make content for people to see how like maybe backstage can be, and like how the world of dubstep and rhythm, give it a little bit more personality, a little bit more credibility for people to think that it's not just satanic fucking angry music, you know. Because even my mom that went to go see and met Infect, you know, like she has a different and completely like her view of the whole like industry change, just because even though the music can be like angrier or like, you know, not as soft, she did not know that the community was as good as it was. So anyways, I will leave it right there, okay, because I keep on talking and talking, and it's been 40 minutes, which is a pretty good length. But yeah, that is my future stuff, my previous stuff, and I hope you guys got some good feedback out of that. And I will see you in the next episode. I want to do this at least like once every 2 weeks. That'll be like very, very good. And bye bye. Have a good one.